Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. When them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can't be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's an art tool. Reflect on all the Jews life taught you. It's on you, tell the truth.
Hi everybody, I'm Kimberly with Unseen Twisted Truth, and this is my co-host Henry.
Hello everybody.
And we have our guest speaker, Deneen, I want to say her name is.
I'm not going to try because I know how it is. I'm going having some technical problems. That happens.
She's not in right now. I don't know.
Here, I'm in here. I'm here.
How do I properly say your name?
You see me?
No.
You hear me?
I hear you.
Nothing. Okay. Can you see or hear me now?
We can hear you. We can't see you.
Okay.
Yeah, turn your camera on.
Allow.
I can't do simple things with technology. I'm really thorough.
I don't know what's going on.
At the front, it should say camera on. Yours looks like your camera's off. It's all black.
Because we certainly want to see your lovely face for the podcast. I'm sure everybody else does.
I don't know what's going on, but I can hear you.
I can hear you. We just can't see you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I grew up with a landline. I'm so terrified of this iPhone here and thing I have. It's useful, but wow. A lot of features.
She might come back. Or she'll definitely come back, but yeah. So how are you?
I am hanging in there. It's been a taxing couple of days, week, months? No, but hanging in there. I'm sitting right where I want to be. If anyone out there is wondering, I drink freeze-dried Maxwell House coffee crystals because I am hardcore like that. I don't have time to brew it. Oh dear. And we got, oh, she's having so many problems. Oh.
That's one step closer.
Bro.
She's got all her stuff set up.
This is like the biggest problem we face with the podcast.
Is getting the other person coming in. Yeah.
How's Kimberly?
I'm blessed and highly favored. We're going to talk about healing your inner child.
I like that. I definitely have some thoughts on that. I think we're all big kids.
Well, we definitely are all big kids, for sure. For sure. I don't think we ever really truly, I don't know what growing up really means anyhow.
Getting caught up more often than not, getting caught up in the rat race of life and trying to keep your head above water.
Yeah.
But we can still eat brownies at 2 a.m. if we want, or even make them at such a time.
For sure, for sure.
And I can run around the house and make dinosaur noises till the cows come home, and that's okay. Sometimes it's very good.
Sometimes it is really good. So, I was gonna wait for her to come on completely to tell about this story.
Yes, it's a real fascinating story tonight for anybody tuning in here. One, I don't have all. I've read through a lot of the things, and I'm still having a hard time piecing it together. I guess we just really want to hear it from her mouth. Let her tell her story. It's just wild. I mean, trying to explain it on base level principle is kind of impossible for me at this point. That's just something I want to hear. And what are we working with here? You lighting some candles? I better get a candle going.
Yeah.
I better. Let's go with.
So there's steps on healing your inner child.
What was that?
There's steps on healing your inner child.
I would like to research those more. So let's go.
So let's try this. Hold on. Are you on here twice?
I am on here once.
I'm gonna kick you off. Okay, hold on.
Oh, now you can hear me?
No, that's yep, there we go. We can hear you and see you.
Yeah.
Audio and visual.
And we also
Hey,
got,
can you hear me? I'm here. Hello.
we also got Joe on, so we're all here now. So there's steps on healing your inner child, and I seen it on a TikTok nonetheless, but they were talking about it. It was on Oprah. This lady was on Oprah, or this gentleman, I'm sorry, I apologize, was on Oprah. And he was saying one of the ways of healing your inner child is take 3 deep breaths, close your eyes, picture the earliest picture you ever could remember of your inner child. And so if you want to do that, we can do that right now. We can take some deep breaths, close our eyes. Picture the earliest picture you can remember of your early child. Remember what you look like. Remember how your hair was. Remember the clothes that you were wearing. Remember every bit of detail that you can of your early child and what exactly you were, what you were doing, what you look like, everything, the earliest memory. Go back.
I can remember back. I always ask why he gave me such a vivid memory, because I can remember things from when I was 3 years old.
So go back to that. So you're walking up to yourself. Yourself now is walking up to your child. And you're taking your child's hand. And you're telling your child that you are going to be okay. You're telling your inner child, you are going to be okay. Grab your inner child's hand and walk away with them and let them know that they are going to be safe and that you got them. And apologize to them and tell them that you love them. And ask them to forgive you.
Okay.
And you're walking away and you see all your grandparents, your parents, everybody sitting there, and they're all waving to you goodbye. They're all waving to you goodbye. You and your child, you're holding your inner child's hand or you're carrying it, whatever, how old it is that you can it can walk or you got to carry it, whatever it may be. So you're walking away and the people from behind you are getting smaller and smaller because you're walking further and further away with your inner child, with your small you. Then all of a sudden, you don't see the people no more. They all disappeared because you got so far away. And all you see is your inner child, your younger you. Tell your younger you that you love yourself and you protect you and that you are going to be okay. And just remember that feeling of how you felt.
Okay, actually, that's the other way around for me. My inner child is actually what saved me.
Well, everybody's inner child's what saved them, but that's how you heal the inner child, is go back to that memory and apologize.
Hold out there. I heard you there when you remember back. I've got fond childhood memories, mostly involving my grandparents in an old house that we lived in that I always walk back to.
But what helps you is the feeling of safety. And I don't care if it's you, the inner child helping you or you helping the inner child. It's the feeling of safety and apologizing to yourself.
Okay. I'm
And
coming.
because we hold ourselves to such high standards, and we are our worst critics, and we beat ourselves up over things that we cannot unchange. So to
Yeah,
apologize to ourselves, let ourselves know that we are okay and that we still love ourselves regardless.
yeah. You kind of taking me through something I'm already past. I'm way past
Oh,
that.
everybody is, but
Yeah.
I
So
said that's how we heal our inner child. That's what I
yeah.
saw on Oprah. That's how they were doing it. Just
Oh. Oh. Okay.
because you're past, it doesn't mean one of our listeners aren't. So I'm
Right.
just letting people
Exactly.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's
So
what I saw. I saw how to heal your inner child, and that's what they said. Because a lot of people don't forgive themselves.
right. Exactly. Okay.
So,
So
anyways, how are you? Tell the world about you and who you are.
I am great. I am. My name is Denise Williams, aka Remarkable Legacy, and I am from Pontiac, Michigan. I'm a writer, and that's pretty much it. I'm working on a. Actually, I have a movie in development right now. A lot of people probably know me from the being the crazy girl that ran away to see Rick James.
That's
I was
fascinating, by the
15
way.
years old. So that's basically what my movie is about now. But as far as the inner child, that's what led me to even go off to see him. A lot of people assumed that I was just crazy about him, in love with him, or whatever. But no, it was the abuse that the child uh, was suffering. I was suffering as a child, and I just wanted to get away. So, yeah,
Rick James, a lot of people were drawn to his presence. He had an amazing star power.
yeah. So
So, how old were you when that happened?
when I left,
Yes.
I was 15.
And what made you want to do it? Why Rick James?
I don't know why it was Rick James at that time, but I do now. I do as an adult. But um, I was like 12 years old when I first started, first heard his songs. And it was just something that just captured me. And then it became a way of an escape for me. You know what I'm saying? Like some people had invisible friends, some people had friends, and I just would talk to my posters on the walls all the time. And that's actually the name of my movie, Diary on the Wall. So that became an outlet for me. And things just kept getting worse, 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 worse. And then finally, by the time I was 15, I was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to Rick James and I'm going to be a Mary Jane girl and I'm not coming back. So I wasn't supposed to come back, but that plan didn't work out. So
So what
that's,
happened?
huh?
So what ended up happening? Like,
Well,
not to give away the story, but like just
I ended up leaving. And, well, I ended up, first of all, you had to understand how I even found them. So
okay.
I would always read all of, remember back when albums came out and they had the inserts and they would say where they recorded at and all of this. And
Yeah.
so I would go through all of that and jot it all down. And then, back in the day, we didn't have free cell phones and all of that. So it was long distance. So it's not funny. Excuse me, it's not funny, but it is. And I would call and I would get all the numbers and I would call. We use every phone I could use because my mom had got to the point every month she was getting a phone bill that was like $700 or $800. So my mom was literally taking her phones off the wall and taking them to work with her so that I couldn't use them.
Yeah.
And then I would go to the payphone, and back then you could build the number to anybody's house. I would do that. I would actually use the phone at school, say I got to call home, I'm sick. Just whatever I could do to just go down this checklist and call. And so one night I had called this place. It was called the Record Plant, and I've been calling it for days because the first time I called and I asked for Rick, they said he's in a studio
Okay.
session. So I'm like, oh my God, I know where he is. I know where he is right now. So I called so much they knew who I was. And then one day I was talking to the receptionist like I always did. And he goes, hold on for a minute, Denise, hold on. And then Rick picks up the phone. And I knew his voice automatically. And I made up something really quick about we were having a talent show at our school and we wanted to honor him or with an award for the best artist of the year or whatever. And he politely turned me down. He said that he was going on tour right after the album, and but they thought it was very sweet. So from the time I hung up the phone from him to the time I called my friend, I decided if he won't come to me, I'll come to him. And then that's when I started making the arrangements to go to San Francisco.
Wow. Persistent and determination. I like that.
Yeah, and like I said, it had a lot to do with just the my surroundings, my areas. You know, I had a stepfather that I could not stand, and just, you know, like I said, the abuse that had started when I was 7, and I was over it. You know, I was over it, and not only that, I suffered in silence as a child. So these things that were happening to me, I never said anything till I was an adult. You know, so that doesn't help at all. Um, but as I was telling you about the inner child saving me as I got older now, because as a kid I was quiet and timid and let anybody say or do anything to me, and I used to call her the little girl inside, because as an adult then she came out and she wasn't having none of that. You know, she wasn't shutting up, she wasn't sitting down, she wasn't being quiet. She and it kind of what this guy say, I don't bother nobody, but when I'm bothered I take it too far. So the little girl would take it too far, and I burned a lot of bridges because my mouth and just cussing people out because of that. So yeah, that's why I was saying the little girl saved me in the inner child, and you know, and I had to, like you said, learn to love myself and forgive myself, because when you're abused, even though you're the victim, you tend to have all of the guilt on you and the
Yeah.
shame. I remember the first time I was molested at 7, and it was over the weekend, and then that Monday, and it's funny how when you get older, you start remembering things, but you start understanding things as well. So I went to WHRC, but that Monday when school came, it was a little store on Mechanic Street. Do you know I skipped school all day? At 7 years old, I didn't go to school. And that was because of the shame that had been put on me from what had happened that weekend.
Right.
So that's kind of a lot what led to it. And then when I was 12, it happened again. I was in New Orleans, and that's when I first heard Rick. And I just kind of buried myself in his music. It was just an escape. That's how it started, just an escape, you know. Then when I got home that summer, so much happened to me. When I got home that summer, my mom had got married when we were gone. I didn't know who this dude was. He was crazy. Then immediately after he left, now here comes my dad, who I haven't seen since I was 5. So it was just a lot of stuff for a child at my age to go through, and that was my escape, and it was Rick. And now that I look back, I look at it more so like a love story, you know, because it took for me to go all the way to California to some stranger to see what my own family couldn't see right in their faces. Like he could have been like, "Get that crazy girl out, send her back where she came from. I don't, you know, I'm not dealing with nobody's child." But instead, he embraced me, and
Oh,
he saw something that they didn't see. And a lot of people don't know. Me and Rick stayed friends till the day he died.
all
And
right.
he made me a promise that night I met him. So let me go back to the story. So anyway, I get there, I fly. It's the studios in Sausalito, California. I fly there. I called the studio before I left. He was in a session. When I got there, I caught a cab to the studio. It was closed. It was nobody there. And I always make this joke about this because I put this pink Easter suit on, my little pink Easter suit. And I laugh because my brother was always just like, he always just was like this with me. Like, he was like, what is my sister going to do next? So I'm like, I'm going to see Rick James. And I had told my mom, I said, if you come home one day and I'm not here, I'm going to see Rick James. She was like, oh, whatever, Denise, whatever. Okay. So I changed my little suit when nobody was there. And the next morning, the guy comes and he's like, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here to see Rick. He's like, Rick is gone. And I'm like, where'd he go? He's like, he's gone to LA to another studio to do some more mixing. And I'm like, okay, is he coming back? Because for a minute I thought about, okay, now I got to figure out how to get to LA. So he said he would be back in a few days. So I just played it out. I ended up being there almost 2 weeks, um, a week by myself. So what I had did to get there was, um, thanks to my accounting class in the ninth grade, I knew how to write checks. So I went to the bottom of my mom's checkbook pack and got a pack of checks and start practicing her signature. Call the airlines. Hey, my 15-year-old daughter's traveling by herself. Can I send one of my work IDs and check with her? Yep, no problem. got on the plane, and like I said, when I got there, no Rick. So I walked up the hill to the bus stop, and this is why I'm saying it's a love story. Because as I tell you guys the story, you'll see how God put people right in place for me. Because I mean, I could have been raped, killed, thrown in the dumpster, anything, but it was just strategic. Like, seems like after I made that decision of what I was going to do, everything was strategic in front of me. So I walked up the hill to the bus stop, and I sat there, and then when the bus came, I just rolled the bus back. Oh, San Francisco, Oakland, just everywhere the bus went, I just rode it, rode it, rode it. So finally, the bus driver was getting ready to go to lunch, and he like, okay, where you going? You gotta, what are you doing? And I told him, and I just shared my story with like everybody, and everybody was just so excited and enthused by it. So once I told him my story, he helped me. I stayed with him until he got off work, and then he actually took one of the checks that I had been foraging on and practicing foraging, and he went to the Howard Johnson and he got me a room for me for a week. So and then he gave me what was left, and that's how I ate, and that's how I survived.
And what did your
Meanwhile,
mom say when you got home?
she didn't say nothing. I mean, my mom came and got me, so it wasn't about when I got home. So by this time, there's an all points bulletin out for me from the Pontiac Police Station. Now she realized that, yeah, this chick really did go to California to see Rick James. Like, oh my God. So she gets together with, how the aunts and everybody in the family get together and figure it out, and they find cousin this and cousin that. And oh, yeah. So we had some cousins in the Oakland. And my mom, by the time my mom got me, though, they had picked me up. I was in a juvenile home. I only stayed overnight. And the first thing she said to me was, "Why did you take my money?" And I shrugged my shoulders. I don't know. And then the next thing she said is, "You're not leaving here till you meet this man either." And I'm like, yes. We go to Oakland and we stay there. And I guess we were there for about 2 days. And then Rick calls. Because by now everybody's telling him, okay, this girl's mama is looking for you, you know. So he calls and she says, "Yeah, I don't know what kind of music you're making, but it's caused my 15-year-old daughter to run all the way from Pontiac, Michigan to see you." And he was like, "Oh my God, 15? She's awfully shrewd for a 15-year-old." He was like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" She said, "Meet him." Of course, he said, "Yes, yes, of course." So they set it up. He was sending a limo to come and get us. And the next night, that didn't happen. I sat out there, and it was just so funny how all the neighborhood kids were sitting out there with me waiting, and had that pink Easter suit on again, and then he didn't show. But then something had happened where he got backed up because he had actually had some food flown in from Buffalo, New York, and got caught up at the airport. But the next night he did come, and I went to the studio with him, and it was funny because I went in the bathroom. I had put a flower in my hair, and then of course, now I'm kind of nervous, so I kind of took the flower out, and then I just thought, well, I waited on him for 2 weeks. He can wait on me for a few minutes.
Mhm.
And as soon as I thought that, somebody knocked on the door, and I'm like, okay. So when I come out, it's just like the whole Stone City band, just everybody that he's recording with. Tina Marie was just so many people there. I think members of the Temptations were there, and I had to get all the way back across the room to my mom. Now I want to be a mama's girl. So I tripped over his foot on the way, and it was just so embarrassing. And then when I sit down, my mom nudges me and says, "I thought you were gonna hug and kiss him when you seen him." And I'm wanting to be like, "Shut up." And he goes, "Oh, baby, come here," and he hugs and kisses me, and it was just kind of a fellowship moment. But he told me that day that if he was ever in any town, anywhere, that I could come and see him, and have all access backstage passes and have my tickets for free. And he stayed true to that till the day that he died. And the
Aw.
last time that I seen Rick wasn't before he died, but I did see him then. But the last time I seen him, his backstage manager called me and said he was at the Fox, and he was like, "D. Rick said come to the hotel. He don't want to be bothered with all the people and everything that night." So I was telling him about the story, how every picture, like all through these years, and I'm like in my 30s now, and all the times I've went to his concerts. Every time we met, I never had a picture of us. Every time something happened to the picture, I even had a roll of film that had him and Gerald Levert on it. Something always happened to the picture. And he was even the first picture when I met him. And he was like, "Oh, that's just too bad," or whatever. And I just think it's the sweetest thing ever because he sent the bellhop to the store without me knowing and bought a disposable camera. And that's the one and only picture I have of me and Rick together. And that's why, because he did that for me.
So Henry, do you want to talk about her little poem she wrote?
Henry looks like he froze.
Can you hear me, Henry?
I have missed absolutely everything, and I'm devastated. I can kind of hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I wanted to say I'm absolutely enamored with some of your word.
Oh, he is freezing.
Go
ahead, Henry.
I'm
Try it
getting
again.
such bad service I can't hear anything.
Go ahead, honey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love your talking on your speaking point. I love your speaking points on rooting. I missed a lot of that, and I'm devastated. I'm very upset. It's an incredible story. I want to ask everything about Rick James, your opinion of him, because celebrities are such regarded in such a light of positive negativity. It sounds like he was a wonderful person to you and remained a great friend till his passing. And
yeah, and that's
I think those are very important points to anybody who can hear me.
That's the key to the whole thing, because everybody known him as to be this cruel person that got high or did whatever. But see, that's not who I knew, and I think that's so cool. So I told my partner, I said, you know what? I said at the end of the film, I said when the oh my God, you know what I'm trying to say at the end, the credits, when the credits roll up, I said that we should just stop the film and then put that clip from him at the BET Awards when he said, "Never mind who you thought I was, I'm Rick James, bitch," and that's so perfect because everybody has this perception of him that's not true. Even when they did the special of him bitching, I didn't like the way that was portrayed. I mean, that might have been him, and that's who he was in life, but that wasn't who he was with me or for me. Like that man probably saved my life. So I hate that Harry keeps Henry. Is it Henry?
Henry,
keeps getting knocked out.
Because that's not normal for him. But there is a storm that went through here. I don't know if you know about that. So he lives over towards like Yale and stuff. So the storm could be going that way. I'm not for sure how it is. Okay. But yeah, that's not normal for him at all. So anyways, he likes how that you labeled yourself as part of the tree, the roots of the tree.
Yeah.
Branches.
Portation of a tree, yeah.
Because we all feel connected to the universe. We feel all at one with nature and stuff like that. And that we all are basically trees. We really are. We're all rooted together. And I believe that, and to know ourselves is to free ourselves. To know our real self, though, not the agreements that others put upon us, not the title that someone else has gave us.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people won't strip themselves down to the bare nothing to find out who they truly are.
Well, if you don't do that, then you'll never heal. Stripping yourself down has a lot to do with accountability, because at some point, you can talk about what happened to you, who abused you, but at some point you have to take accountability for the choices you made as an adult.
Yep.
So, see, it took me a long time. I'm still going through the healing process of that, but I think it all happens for a reason, and it's a lesson, and it's growth for me. And I'm not gonna always get it right every time, but I'm gonna try my best, and I'm gonna try my best to help other people as well. But I just wanted to really just clarify that um, it's help. It's help on the other side, and you don't have to be. They always want to diagnose you as far as in the mental health industry with something. It's bipolar. It's this. Is that? No. If you were gonna treat me for anything, it should have been post traumatic trauma from things happening to me at 7 years old and 5 years old, and you know what I mean. And it's a lot of that going on. And so I just made the conscious decision. I said, look, either you're going to believe what God says or you're going to believe what man says. And I
Mm-hmm.
chose to believe what God said. And he called me to be healthy in my sound mind and no medication or anything. And that's what I do. So I walked away from it and it's been perfect for me. And I'm quite sure a lot of people would disagree because they like to say, oh, I've got anxiety and I've got this and I've got that. No, you don't. You don't have to have any of that.
No, and
So,
and nothing really happens to you. Everything happens for you.
right, exactly, exactly,
And we talk about mental health a lot. We talk about being mindful and aware of ourselves a whole bunch on here. We talk about the things that nobody really wants to talk about because everybody wants to believe this certain story that we've been told when we were young. This whole the whole thing of trauma bonds and repeating cycles and generational curses, and we have no choice but to be like this because we're suppressed and da da da. But that's all bullcrap, to be honest, because you are in charge of yourself.
exactly,
And if
exactly,
you take accountability for yourself and you realize that you are in control of yourself, there's only one creator, and there's only one reason we're here, and that's to fulfill a purpose.
exactly.
And it's love. Love is the answer. And unity is the key. And a lot of people don't see that. He's in a huge storm cell, losing studio and visual or audio and visual. I've been greatly excited for this interview. Do you see the comments? Because he's writing to
I
you.
know. I don't even know where the
At
comments
the
are.
bottom where it says more,
More, okay. Oh, comments.
can you read
Okay.
it? Can you see it?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. See.
He
Oh,
wants to talk
yeah.
about you being a dancer too.
He said what?
He said he's seen that you are a dancer.
Yeah, I'm actually. That's where I'm at right now. I'm at hustle class. That's why
And
we're
he
at
was
hustle
like,
class out
what a
here.
wonderful way of self-expression. And your outfit's fantastic. I'd love to hear about how dancing and writing have impact your life. He wants us to talk about how writing and dancing has impacted your life.
Oh man, they both freedom, 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 freedom writing. I'm able to. I can write, and it's so funny. Even with technology today, I still would rather pick up a pencil and a pad and write. It's um, it's just a way to relieve things, and dancing also. Like it's freedom in both.
There is freedom in both. And I think that as a child, they try to limit our imagination and they try to cloud us and make us into this shell of a person that they want us to be, and we're not able to be true to ourselves. And with the freedom of dancing in music and writing, you're allowed to be you regardless of judgment.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I see that as very true. So when is this movie going to be coming out, or do you have a book out already, or
It's in the, no, I'm in the stages of the book is still being written, but the movie is in development stages right now. It's in the
okay.
development stage. The script is done. The pitch deck is done. Of course, Hollywood is shut down because this is not going to be. This is a feature film. It's not going to be on Tubi or
Okay.
YouTube or a Netflix or anything like that streaming. Um, so we are in the process of getting it. Like I said, Hollywood is set down, and we're independent. So if there's anybody out there listening and interested we are in the fundraising a part of it as well, and we're looking for investors. So if anybody's out there, so that's all. That's pretty much it. We're ready to go. Just waiting on Hollywood to get through with their strike.
So she said freedom, Henry. Did you hear?
Oh, Henry.
Oh, poor Henry.
We just not having a good night.
I did. I've been trying to message at least. If I can't talk, I will not be silent. Freedom is wonderful. I knew you'd say that. When we're children, we long to be adults so we can chase our dreams. And I think it's really important that people chase their dreams and what they were meant to do so they flourish.
Yes. So what did you were saying something earlier before you froze and disappeared.
About her wordplay on the fact of being related to the trees and the branches.
Rooting. I was reading some of those. I'd gotten some information about how you were rooted in the ground as a metaphor for moving forward, uprooting yourself. It's important to be grounded and simultaneously away from the places that sucked your life out. There's strangler figs in the forest, which are parasitic trees, and you got to watch out for those guys.
Yes. Yes.
As well as all kinds of parasitic plants. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed that. I grew up with trauma and abuse, and being away from those situations and people is freeing, and being around people who support and want you to move on and process that in a healthy way. It's really key for that. I wish I could have heard more about what you said about Rick, because he sounds like a hell of a good guy.
Well, there's this live, you can replay it, right?
Yes, he can replay it.
I will be going back over this one for sure.
Yeah, but you can see yourself doing a disappearing act coming.
I'm still losing.
Well,
so you guys, what else when you want to ask me?
Darn it, this was a good one for me too. I was just waiting.
So what did you take from this? What did you take from this? I know that you would do it all over again. I know you would. But what did you take from this as an adult? What did you pass on to your children? Because I know you have children now. So what did you pass on to your children that you lacked?
Everything the opposite of me. I got 4 children, like totally awesome and opposite of me. You wouldn't think they were my kids. I had a lot of help too, my mom and my brother, but I got some good kids, and I'm very proud of them. So yeah, they got a crazy mama, but if I had to do it all over again for my kids to turn out the way they did, I would.
Yeah,
I definitely would. I would.
And that's, go ahead.
None of them had to deal with being abused sexually or anything like that. They didn't have to go through that. They're productive. They like I said, complete opposite of me. The oldest 2 married, kids. Did everything the right way. I got my son and his family are in Japan. So yeah, I'm proud. I'm a proud mother and mother of 6 grandkids, 5 girls, 1 boy. So yeah.
Wow. That's a wonderful blessing, honestly. And I don't think anybody really grew up with this ideal, perfect life anyways. I think that those strong ones, the survivors, the ones that make a difference in this world, have the hardest lives.
Exactly.
So your life was meant for you, and you did a great job in how you turned out and doing wonderful for your kids. I heard your one son sing and stuff like that. They're very talented. He's very, very, very talented.
Yeah, you ought to do a show with him.
I'm going to have to. I haven't been able to reach out to him, though. So if you can reach out to him, tell him to contact me, and I'll definitely do a show with him for sure.
I will. Thank you, Kim. I really appreciated it.
You're welcome. And I don't want to hold you up because I know you got that event that you're doing right now. But I wanted to let you know that I'm proud of you, and I'm honored that I got to meet you.
I am honored that I got to meet you as well. And thank you for reaching out to me.
You're welcome. Blessings from above.
Yeah, and tell Henry I said sorry, but
I will.
You got my info. If you want to get a personalized story, tell him to call me.
Okay, and I'm sure he'd love to talk to you because he's all about that, because he helps people that's been traumatized in healing and stuff.
Exactly. But thank you so much. I'm gonna try to run in here
You're
and do
welcome.
this.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you.
No problem. Have a good night.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye.
You too. Yes.
Come here. Get myself. I'm going in here to do this last hustle with them. I know, but it's 8:30. It's
She doesn't know how to leave yet. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching and being a part of this. Healing starts with you. Healing starts with you. And if you want to make a difference, you just have to learn to love you and accept you and become the difference and become the change. This Saturday, we are walking, doing the Unity Track walk. We're walking from Pontiac to Detroit. We're leaving at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're, I think, at the center. Oh, let me try to read this real quick. I know we're leaving at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and we're walking. I just got to find the address. At the Phoenix Center. At the Phoenix Center, we're leaving. Everybody should know where the Phoenix Center is, right? If you're not familiar with it, you might have to Google. It's Pontiac, Michigan, the Phoenix Center. And we're going to walk from there to Detroit. And there's going to be plenty of breaks and plenty of intermissions. And it's not going to be like who can get there first. It's going to be about a mental health, spiritual health, checking out your environment. Oh, he told me what the address is. Yeah, the Phoenix Center. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good for your inner self, let alone your outer self. So come join us and partake and walk with us. And then we got the Love Trade the following Saturday, which is the 29th. And the address is still going to be at the same place, I do believe. Rain or shine, we're going to put that one on. So, but it's supposed to be a nice day that day. So come out and support the Love Trade and show some support and love. And if you have anything like a craft of any sort, come set up a stand or get a hold of Jabrell and our Jabrell, that was our co-host. So get a hold of Jabrell and let them know what you got, or just come up with your craft and trade it. And it's all about networking and about showing love and bartering. We have to get back to the way we're supposed to be. We have to get back to the ground basis of the way life was intended to be. This whole this whole dollar currency, this whole you're not nobody until you have money, that thing is so crazy to me. I can't wrap my head around it at all. I can't fathom why people are so obsessed with the whole dollar amount anyways. It's all about your heart. You're not measured by the money you have. You're measured by your heart and how pure it is and how genuine you are. So it's all about love. So come show some love. It's support, showing support. That's free, come out and partake. It's only $5 to come on in. You might as well just come and enjoy yourself. There's a lot of good people that are going to come and perform. Whatever you have, though, any skill that you have and you want to share it, come share it. I'm sure somebody would love to see it. You matter. Just remember that you're important and you matter, and we love you. And it's all about love. Show peace and love. Show peace and love and spread it. And that's the only way we're going to make a difference. So I appreciate everybody tuning in and coming on and partaking and watching. We are not our bank statements or our illnesses. Facts, Henry said. Facts. We are not at all. We're our heart. if it's pure and genuine, and if your intent is pure and genuine, and just be kind and love one another, be kind and love one another, and share some love. That's all you can do, and that's what you're supposed to do anyhow. So I'm going to end this. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Stay tuned for our next week's. Is going to be amazing. I appreciate you guys. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have really nothing to talk about. So we're here for you. We are the People's Podcast. Ashe, everyone. Have a blessed night.